Hello. Today I wanted to do a quick overview of my SevenFriday P1B 02, and that's not to be mistaken with the original P102. That is the version 1 of this watch. SevenFriday released this as kind of an updated version of that watch. However, there are some websites that are still selling these watches, the P102, as this watch, the P1B 02, and that's not the same watch. I mean, there has been some updates to this that have changed it a bit. So it comes in this wooden crate, made famous by SevenFriday, very industrial and fitting of the brand. To open it, you just grab the latch here, slide that open, and you are immediately greeted by the SevenFriday warranty card. Once you put that back, pull that up, and you get to the watch. But before I go over that, I wanted to show what else it comes with, like a convenient SevenFriday microfiber cleaning cloth. Always a nice thing to have. SevenFriday sticker pack if you're into that sort of thing, and under that is your manual and instruction booklet. Alright, so now let's get to the watch. Let me slide this out here. So, looking at the watch itself, it is nicknamed the Bright White, and I think that is definitely for obvious reasons. It is certainly bright white. The original version was also called the Bright White, but like I said, there were some visual updates to the watch. I'll put a picture up here so that you can see how actually closely related the original one was. And so to show you what the differences were, you can first come to the second wheel here and see that that has been replaced by a phase wheel. And then on the left side, let me move the hands out of the way there. On the left side, instead of a 24-hour clock, you are greeted with a day-night indicator. So obviously if that arrow is pointing down here at the moon, it's nighttime, and when pointed at the rose gold half circle with the sun on it, it is daytime. Still has the rose gold accents, the leather white strap, which is very nice, I have to say. Some people have said this has been updated a bit. When I look at the two watches, I personally cannot tell, but I have been told by others who have owned both these watches that the strap on the P1B 02 has been updated in a few ways, like a little bit slimmer, a little bit more comfortable on the wrist. But other than that, oh, also the outer ring is different. So on the original P102, there were some numerals on the outside of the ring here, whereas on this one, it is just the indicators, which I think it cleans it up a bit. It looks a little better to me. It is part of the SevenFriday Industrial series, although with these styling cues, it does not come off industrial to me at all. It looks more like a luxury space futuristic watch. Like if NASA, NASA uses a lot of whites and golds. If NASA were to do more of a space future steampunk watch, this is, in my mind, what it would come out to be. They say on their website that it's influenced by cotton spinning machinery. I'm not too familiar with cotton spinning machinery, so I can't really tell there, but maybe some of you can. But to me, it looks more like a future space watch. And if you look at the original P101 Industrial series, it definitely is just that. It's industrial, it's steampunk, it's sporty, it comes on that rubber silicone strap, even a different case back there a little bit, but it is the same watch though. This is the same case, the same movement. However, with those simple color changes and styling cues, this watch looks completely different. So looking at them side to side, you can tell that they're the same watch, but they have such a different style about them. So this is like that kind of grunge brother, and this is that more proper science nerd brother. They're definitely different, although the same watch, which is really cool to me that they have so many varieties for something for everybody, or you can get one of each and have fun with them. They're definitely not a daily watch. You know, it's not something you'd wear with a suit going into the office. But for something fun on the weekend to wear with bright clothing and in the summer, it's a definitely a fun and great watch. Definitely a conversation starter. I think one of the reasons for that is not only because it's very bright and out there, but even the other one is this conversation starter. And I think that's because of its size. It's just absolutely massive. So you can definitely tell that it's a unique and different watch from quite a ways away. People will notice it. It's 47 millimeters, and I have about a 6.5 to 6.25 inch wrist, so definitely a bit large on me. But I will say it's comfortable. So a lot of large watches on my wrist, they'll dig in with the crown, and especially I wear it on this wrist, obviously, but I have my Bell & Ross sitting on that wrist. The crown will like dig in and be super uncomfortable, and I can't wear it for too long. But this, I've noticed I can wear all day, no problems. Something about how they designed it and how the case sits on the wrist, it has no problems being there. The lug width is 28 millimeters across, so that is something to note. A very, very big, probably the biggest lug width I've ever seen on a watch. It's absolutely massive. But again, they made a comfortable strap, so I have no complaints. Under the globe, they have put an NFC chip, which is their authentication identifier for these watches, which is kind of sad that they have to do that. These watches are about $1,200 US on their website, so not extremely expensive, but they're definitely expensive. I mean, $1,200 for a watch. I mean, I know there are people buying platinum Daytonas, but even $1,200, it's still expensive for a watch. And I get that there are some people that don't want to spend that, but to go out and buy a replica is kind of sad, in my opinion, because you're still going to spend about $200 on a replica, whereas somebody in just about any bracket, as long as you save a little bit, you can afford one of these watches, especially on the used market. If you look on the used market, these watches can get quite cheap, and that's, I think, for a few reasons, and one of them being that once you get past the style and the design, they're not the greatest function type watch, right? So you're definitely going over with style and design on a watch like this over an amazing movement and features. So they get away with being a Swiss brand on a technicality. They are headquartered in Switzerland. However, these watches are assembled in Hong Kong and China, but obviously that's not saying anything bad about that. I mean, they have done an excellent job on this case. There are no flaws or deficiencies. It's really well weighted. Just a very good watch all around in terms of the case and how it's been assembled. And then obviously their movement is not a true Swiss movement. It's not an in-house movement or even an ETA. It's just a Japanese Miyota movement, which, you know, it does the job. It's about 21,600 vibrations per hour, or beats per hour. It gets about -20 to +40 seconds per day. So nothing crazy, nothing wow. But it gets the job done, and for the price, you're really looking at style and design over, again, the functionality of the watch. And you know, you're not wearing this as your daily watch, and not wearing it to time your day, as much as you're just doing it as it's a very interesting and unique piece, and how it's been assembled and how it's been created is just very cool. It gets about 50, I think it's 50 meters, or is it even less than that? It might be 30 meters water resistance. So 30 meter water resistant, 3 ATM. I wouldn't recommend even remotely getting this wet. Maybe washing your hands will be okay, but that's just about it. Otherwise, you are definitely risking getting water on the inside of this watch. With that movement, it's a Miyota 82S7. They use that same movement in a ton of their watches, actually 21 variations last time I counted. So not super creative with that movement. They don't even really decorate it or change it in any way. It's just your base Miyota 82S7 for the most part. And so they're not really getting too creative in the movement and the power plants of these watches, but more in the style and design. And that's what you're getting into when you're buying these. It also does not come with a sapphire crystal, which was a huge disappointment. I know I've been talking this watch up. It is a great watch. It's very fun, very eye-catching. However, the big disappointment was that it came with a mineral glass. So it scratches and dings quite easily. And even with my P101, I've gotten all kinds of little nicks in the crystal and things like that, which is such a problem, really, when you're talking a watch that costs $1,200 US. You would expect it to have a sapphire crystal, because most watches in that price range and even lower do. I mean, I've seen watches in the even $500, $600, $700 range that now come with sapphire crystal. So maybe I'll look for kind of an aftermarket sapphire crystal to help that out, because it is so annoying. I know a ton of you other watch guys will agree with me that when you get like a nick in the glass or something, it's such a pain in the butt, which is why I am glad so many other manufacturers are going with sapphire. However, 7Friday have not jumped on that bandwagon just yet, at least. I'm hoping that 7Friday still does in the future decide to start putting sapphire crystals on their watches instead of just continuing on with this mineral glass. And I think they are getting enough feedback where that they will realize that just that little bit of extra money would make a lot of people happy. A lot of their clients would continue to come back after that. But in the meantime, we're stuck with that mineral crystal, which I guess it could always be worse. The watch, all in all, as you can see, is a good watch if it's what you're looking for. Don't expect this to be a tour watch. It's not. Expect it to just really be focused on style and design, and if that's what you're into, then I think you'll enjoy this. One more thing to note is that there is no lume on this. This is going more into the fact that this definitely is not a tool watch. The only lume that this watch has is on the hour hand. So I guess if you knew exactly where your markers were and then you were in the dark, you would at least know what hour it was. If you needed to know what minute it was, I guess you're out of luck. It's not intended for that, so don't expect any of that. Just to know maybe where the hour is, because like I said, there's no lume on the outside. So in the dark, you can kind of see. Okay, well, the lume's sort of pointed at the 3 o'clock direction or the 4, but you can't really know for sure, which is kind of a pain. It's honestly so bad that I don't know why they bothered putting it there in the first place. It's really quite useless. Even in the dark, like full dark, it's still very hard to see. So it doesn't do a good job. Actually, I'll even include a shot here of me with it in the dark to show you what I mean. So lastly, there it is. There is the lume on the 7Friday P1B 02. It's so bad, my camera is having trouble keeping track of it. There we go, that's a good spot. But that's it. That's all you get, is a tiny, tiny little blue dot. So, I mean, perhaps if you're really good at maybe direction and knowing exactly where your wrist is placed, you could maybe say, hey, that's just about at 3 o'clock. So maybe a little past, maybe around 3:05, 3:10, but that's about it. It's as much as you're gonna know. So obviously not a tool watch. Hopefully you're never stuck in a cave with this, because it's not gonna help you much. I have no idea why they included any lume at all on this watch. It is a very pretty blue, I guess, but really there's no point for it. So yeah, that's it. Right, so with the conclusion of that lume shot, I think I have touched on just about everything that I wanted to go over with this watch. It's great fit and finish, great design, great style. And that's exactly what this watch was meant to do. It wasn't meant as sort of a daily wear tool watch. It was meant to kind of be a part of a collection and worn every once in a while, to just enjoy the great style of it. So with that, I'm going to leave you with one last good overlook of the watch. Thanks for watching. Cheers.